with tens of thousands of islands scattered around the Swedish archipelago. This week, it's time to push the 26-foot sailboat to the outer archipelago.
Oh baby!
And we're sailing!
I was so keen on showing this island paradise to Kieran and all of you. Enjoy, guys! To me, these are some of the best places on Earth.
Baby!
Yes!
What are we doing?
We are going to go out to the outer archipelago here in Stockholm, and I am very excited. I used to be there when I was a kid, and I'll get to show Kieran and you. So yeah, here we go.
So this will be our third time on Monstrole, which is Isabelle's parents' little sailboat they have just purchased recently. Yesterday we set it up with solar panels and a battery, so we can charge this camera battery and a drone battery and phones and navigation stuff. But yeah, we've kitted her out to go on this expedition. We had a few test sails with her. We've practiced anchoring. We've got our head around the little outboard engine back here. It's a little bit problematic at times, but for the most part we've got it down pat. Isabelle's just giving me directions. Local knowledge always helps. This will be my first time to the outer archipelago of Stockholm, or of any Sweden, of all of Sweden, should I say. And I'm very much looking forward to it. The islands here, I don't know, they're just, there's lots of them. The archipelago is just so huge. You could spend probably a lifetime going around Sweden and seeing it all, and still probably not see it all. Just multitasking here, not very good at it. Sorry about this. Couldn't be more happy with our summer in Sweden so far. It is fantastic.
The Stockholm archipelago is the largest archipelago in Sweden and second largest in the Baltic Sea. To this day, it is still being shaped in a big way, with some islands rising as much as 3 millimeters a year due to geological faults.
Oh baby!
And we're sailing!
And we are skyrocketing 5.5 knots in a 28-foot boat. That is speed!
Oh, it's amazing. We're just crossing the channel now. And it's about like 5 sailboats around us. It is beautiful.
Back in the 1700s, the archipelago's population was a mere 3,000, mainly fishermen. Today, there are well over 40,000 holiday homes owned mainly by Stockholmers, and in summer, the population soars. The problem with so many islands around the archipelago is sometimes the route can be pushed into a narrow waterway, as I explain here.
What am I going to call it? Like a little channel slash passage of shallow water through a bunch of little islands, and it's going to be a bit dicey going through there. But I've checked the charts. It's between 3 and 6 meters at all times, according to the charts. The charts have been pretty reliable while we've been sailing here in Sweden so far, so I'm going to trust them again. We are going to try sail through. There is one stage in this section where we might have to turn the motor on and go upwind a bit. That might have to take place, but it's going to be an interesting little feat.
How's your sail so far?
Oh, this afternoon has been spectacular. We were a bit afraid that the wind would die off and we wouldn't be able to move anywhere. But so far we've had the wind at about 90 to 120 degrees the whole day. We've got this big super genoa. It is just performing brilliantly in these light wind conditions. We've been doing anywhere from 3 to 6 knots, and for a 28-foot boat, that's I'm happy with that. That's great.
Got a beautiful backdrop here and the beautiful flag. Hey?
Beautiful woman. Hey?
I am very much enjoying this. There is less and less houses as we get further and further out in the archipelago. The trees are also getting less on the island, and the rocks are getting smoother. So stay tuned and we'll show you all of that.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona.
Shoot.
Okay, so we just made it around the first two markers, or the first channel, and we have another two markers, well, another little channel to make it through. But we're going to head upwind first, and now we're about probably 5-10 minutes of heading upwind like this. Might have to do a tack or two actually, darling. And then we have literally a channel going directly into the wind. I'm going to try and keep up the sails and just get through the channel, and then should be back onto our starboard tack very shortly. So it's going well so far.
We also have like no time frame on this whatsoever. Like we can arrive as late as we want, because here in summer, middle of June right now, it's just end of June actually. The sun doesn't really set, so it's just perfect. It's not gonna get so dark in the evening.
And we made it out of a little hairy situation going through the two channels. We did have to stick the engine on, unfortunately, because we were going directly upwind, but kind of expecting that anyway. So it's not the end of the world. Motoring for 5 minutes and now we're back on sail. Cannot complain with that. Okay, so we are just arriving now. This place is looking unreal, and my baby is laughing at me. What do you think, darling?
Oh, it's looking unreal!
That's the sound of the engine.
Oh, is it? No, it's just about finding a spot, darling.
So I think if we have a look at the biggest island, that way we've got the most to explore first, and see if we can find an anchorage that touches with the biggest island. What do you think? Yeah?
Oh, biggest or prettiest or?
Prettiest, biggest. Okay, I'm gonna go in slow.
Very shallow here, Kieran. Go more that way. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Because it's not getting any more shallow there. Alright, so now I find what I think is the perfect place for us to stay the night. Someone's built a little dock here. We're quite far out now in the archipelago, so there's no houses here. There are some houses on the other island just here, like some fishing sheds or whatnot. What do you want to call it? It's just absolutely beautiful. It is quite shallow here and it's really hard to know how deep it is. Kieran's now reversing out this place because he wanted to have a look at another place just around the corner. So yeah, we're happy. After a bit of exploring, we headed back to my original spot. Kieran realized that in these areas, I knew best. And we have arrived! It's a bit dicey one to get in here. There's a lot of bombies on either side and it cannot be more than, I don't know, a couple centimeters underneath the keel. But we are, yeah, we're still rocking, we're still floating.
What is this?
No, I just did that
What
just
is
for
this?
now.
Pick up the camera without tying the boat on properly? G'day guys, what is this little segment in the middle of the video? Well, I'm here to tell you about a few things. First off, this is weird, you know, this background, you know, it's almost like we're on a new boat. Weird, right? Weird. So looking forward to sharing this stuff with you, but future episode. Right now I want to tell you about these bad boys. We have a little bit of merch going on at the moment. Ooh, and then we got, woo, and on the back, woo, god damn. So yes, new website, new merch. Very happy to announce that. And we also, if you don't know, have a Patreon. So we don't really push this too much because we don't really feel comfortable. But if you guys really enjoy this show and you do want to help us out because this project that we're taking on is huge, please go over and sign up to be a patron. Please buy some merch for us. It helps us a lot, and the financial struggles that we're about to take on are going to be great, I think. So if you guys really like this show, you really want to see it continue, and maybe you want to see us have success with this rebuild, please go over and sign up to be a patron. We can't thank you guys enough. Our patrons are the ones that make this possible, and we appreciate them so much. Like, you guys, my goodness. Anyway, back to the video.
Woo! Wow! Woo! Wow! Woo, wow. Tell us
Only for you, darling, and a couple of more.
Tell us about this island.
Whew, this island is called Södra... I just looked at this. Sundskärskommen. So we are at Östra Sundskärskommen, which is in the somewhat other archipelago in Stockholm. How would you translate that? Oh, you can't really translate it. It's just like a little island east of some other islands.
Lovely. Fantastic.
Am I selling it?
You're selling it so good.
Anyway, we walked up here and I saw this little pier, and she fits perfectly here. Månstråle.
Perfectly? So would you say perfectly?
Well, lengthwise, but then sometimes we hear this bang. So we can't dance around in the boat because sometimes we are kind of hitting bottom. Yeah.
So what are we going to do now, darling?
We're going to go explore the island. Very excited. It's about 5 o'clock right now, and as you can tell, the sun's still up and still beautiful. Yeah, we're just gonna explore a little bit, and would you like a glass of wine with you when we're walking out? Yeah?
It wouldn't hurt at all.
No, it wouldn't, would it? Be right back. Darling?
My baby. Squirrel.
Let's go. Drone.
So we've been quite a few places around the world, and certain places are more friendly than others, I guess you could say, both in people but also in like the landscape. So in French Polynesia, all the islands, or most of the islands, are all volcanic islands, and the rocks are like jaggedly sharp and will cut you to pieces in no time. But these rocks, I gotta say, darling, they are the most friendliest, softest, smooth rocks you could ask for. All the rocks are quite smooth, but on top of that, they have this layer of moss. It makes it so nice to walk on. No thongs or shoes needed. It is just paradise out here. It's weird, I kind of say that out loud, like in my mind it sounds really good, but when I say it out loud it's just like, it's a rock. But anyway, I'm happy.
And I gotta say that it feels very, very nice sharing this with my fiance and all you guys. This is where I grew up. I know I've been nagging you guys about it, but it is very special to me. This is where I nagged my parents to go every summer, just to the outer archipelagos, and I just loved running on these rocks and playing in the water for hours and hours, and collecting all kinds of rocks.
Some would say this is where you gained your first sense of adventure and
Sure.
your desire to explore.
Sure.
Would you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just, there's no place like home, really, so.
Allmän's rätt, or every man's right in English, is a law within Sweden that gives everyone the right to go ashore or anchor as long as it isn't in the direct vicinity of a building. This remarkable law allows us to explore these islands and call them home, even just for a brief time. Being so far from the mainland, the islands of this part of the outer archipelago don't receive as much rain, and therefore the further you go out, the less vegetation you see. We really find beauty in these remote islands.
As you can see behind me, we have now successfully circumnavigated the name of this island, which is far beyond my Swedish right now. Let's just call it Newfound Kieranland, because Kieran found it today, which is new. It doesn't matter about the name. It just matters that we're here.
Appetizer, my love.
Whoa, what do we got?
There's tomatoes and mozzarella. Italian in the Swedish archipelago.
Not bad.
Enjoy. And Portuguese.
Portuguese wine? How are you doing, darling?
What are you gonna eat?
Oh, a little burger feast. Prepared by yours truly, but mostly the planning was done by a certain beautiful lady behind the camera.